I will never forget the flood of emotions that I experienced in January 2021 when video of the violent assault on Vicha Ratanapakdee started to circulate.
On October 1st in San Francisco, there will be a street renaming and film screening to honor Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee. Vicha was an 84-year-old Thai grandfather who was senselessly murdered and became a symbol for anti-Asian hate during the pandemic.
October 1st is going to be a momentous occasion that brings a community together because of the pain we all felt when we saw what had happened to Grandpa Vicha.
That's what got me involved in the movement to stop Asian hate. And I see it as more than just a trend, but I see it as a continuing to unite communities of all color as we fight against racism from all fronts and forms, no matter who's doing it. It's a wake-up call to continue to fight for the justice, not just for his family, but so many others.
And that's why the street naming, Vicha Ratanapakdee Way, is so important, because it is a memorialization of a man who had built a beautiful life here.
As a mother, a daughter, a friend, a sister to all the Asian Americans, it is my job to protect my family, my friends, and my community.
And it's a reminder to all of us that until these attacks stop happening, that we must continue to fight and stake a claim, because we belong here. This is our country, and we deserve to live in safety without fear of being attacked because of what we look like and our background.
Let's celebrate this moment to respect, protect our elderly, educate, give hope and strength to our children.
The shirt says "Justice for Vicha."
Mark Young wants to send a strong message.
This shirt symbolizes the igniting and the coming together of the community to support a man who lived a beautiful life and had a tragic ending, and could have been any one of our grandfathers.
84-year-old grandfather Vicha Ratanapakdee was brutally attacked in broad daylight in January last year. He was pushed to the ground, hit his head, and ultimately died from his injuries. The accused 21-year-old attacker from Daly City is behind bars. Many continue to fight for justice and to acknowledge the horrific crimes that Asian Pacific Islander communities still face.
I feel like we have to do something about this.
Mark Young is with Stand for Asians.
Our community has been the most affected, and it's a chance for us just all to come together to fight injustice.
On Saturday, with the help of several community groups, a street by Encanto and Terra Vista Avenue in San Francisco will be renamed. It'll become Vicha Ratanapakdee Way. So the actual attack happened about 2 blocks from here. This is the area where Grandpa Vicha would do his morning walks.
He was just coming home from a morning walk, a day like today, and heinous. It was a heinous attack, and so this has got to stop.
The hope that renaming a street after Grandpa Vicha will shed light on a tragic moment and make it a teachable one.
They'll learn about Grandpa Vicha's life and the story of what happened to him, and they'll learn a little bit about anti-Asian hate, and I think that's the teaching moment that we're trying to have here, something that can be memorialized for our future generations.
In San Francisco, Suzanne Fawn, ABC 7 News.
Greetings. I'm Erica Moritsugu, Deputy Assistant to the President and the Asian American Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander Senior Liaison at the White House. I'm truly humbled to join you today as we gather to rename Sonora Lane to be Vicha Ratanapakdee Way and to honor Mr. Ratanapakdee's life and celebrate his memory. He was a father, a grandfather, a husband, a friend and neighbor, and a community member. He was on a morning walk on January 28, 2021, trying to regain his strength after a heart surgery. His recovery journey took a sharp turn when he was senselessly attacked. Mr. Ratanapakdee was taken to San Francisco General Hospital, but the damage was irreversible, and he died from his injuries. This should never have happened. This was born out of anti-Asian hate, which has a long history in our country and is not a new phenomenon, but it's reached a deadly and common dimension that's caught the attention of mainstream culture for the first time in our history. Our country is witnessing a series of attacks motivated by hate-fueled violence, and it undermines our civic and daily life. It sows division, and it compromises our safety. We We should be able to live without fear and not to have to worry if our loved ones would come back from their morning walks, praying at their houses of worship, or shopping at the grocery store. Our beloved elders and our children, both our treasures, are watching, asking questions, and counting on us to take action. In this terrible tragedy, Vicha's daughter, Monthanus, and the Asian American community is turning this pain into purpose. From unimaginable tragedy, we see courageous family members like Monthanus using her voice to create change out of this tragedy. The renaming of this street is not only to honor Mr. Ratanapakdee, but also to remember how we are stronger than hate. Last week at the United We Stand Summit, President Biden said one of his reasons for optimism is the young people in this country. Mina Fedora was the youngest of 21 uniters at the summit. At the age of 13, Mina created AAPI Youth, rising to stop the violent and racist attacks on Asian Americans. I'm hopeful because our young people are engaged and they are vocal and bold. Unity requires all of us to do the hard work. So let's stand together, standing against hate, regardless of our backgrounds and beliefs. And today, we stand by Monthanus and remember Mr. Ratanapakdee. Today is a new day of hope in San Francisco, the Bay Area, for our beautiful and growing and diverse community and for our nation. Thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for being here and showing up. Please know that you are not alone. We see you and hear you and value you. Mahalo for allowing me to share this space with you today.
Hi everybody, I'm Jiang Summers. January 2021 is a very emotional month. That's the month I just welcomed a new baby to my life. That's also the month we lost an 84-year-old grandfather, Vicha Ratanapakdee. He was just taking his morning walk and was viciously attacked and murdered. Being a new mother and an Asian American in America is no longer the same. As a mother, a daughter, a friend, a sister to all the Asian Americans, it is my job to protect my family, my friends, and my community. As a comedian, it is my job to keep pushing the boundaries on stage, on social media, to fight Asian hate. And I can never be too loud, and I invite you to join me to fight Asian hate. October 1st, a major San Francisco street will be named after Vicha, the loving grandfather. Let's celebrate this moment to respect, protect our elderly, educate, give hope and strength to our children. This fight has just begun. It's not over. Let's fight together. We are stronger.
Hello, friends. On October 1st in San Francisco, there will be a street renaming and film screening to honor Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee. Vicha was an 84-year-old Thai grandfather who was senselessly murdered and became a symbol for anti-Asian hate during the pandemic. In downtown Los Angeles, there's a little plaque that memorializes the 1871 riot that left 17 Chinese men and boys lynched. In Manzanar, California, there is a plaque to memorialize the 120,000 Japanese Americans who were forcibly relocated to American concentration camps. And around the world, there are memorial statues of Korean comfort women to remind us of this atrocity of war. And in Washington, D.C., there is a memorial for Dr. Martin Luther King. Like our ancestors, who fought for these tangible memorials, we cannot leave our lived experience in the hands of the victor to tell our history. This is our story. So please join us, join the family in honoring Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee.
Hello everyone, this is Amon Jordan, aka Capnificent, and I just want to take this time to send a heartfelt message to you all that even though I won't be there in physically October 1st, I will be there in heart, in the spirit, as we celebrate the renaming of the street to Vicha Ratanapakdee Way. His murder, that's what got me involved in the movement to stop Asian hate. And I see it as more than just a trend, but I see it as a continuing to unite communities of all color as we fight against racism from all fronts and forms, no matter who's doing it. It's a wake-up call to continue to fight for the justice, not just for his family, but so many others. And so I celebrate with y'all. I'm excited that we're renaming the street, and I'm looking forward to seeing justice served. Thank you.
Hello everyone, it's Lisa Ling, and I will never forget the flood of emotions that I experienced in January 2021 when video of the violent assault on Vicha Ratanapakdee started to circulate. I was utterly aghast, I was devastated, and I was angry. And sadly, those feelings haven't dissipated as our Asian seniors have continued to be senselessly and often violently attacked. And that's why the street naming, Vicha Ratanapakdee Way, is so important, because it is a memorialization of a man who had built a beautiful life here and deserved to live safely and freely in his home. And it's a reminder to all of us that until these attacks stop happening, that we must continue to fight and stake a claim, because we belong here. This is our country, and we deserve to live in safety without fear of being attacked because of what we look like and our background.
Hi all, I noticed a lot of my brothers and sisters out there doing these videos on the anniversary of Vicha Ratanapakdee's death. Yes, that was a triggering moment for me, and that's what made me get involved in all this Stop Asian Hate business here. But you know, more than a year onwards, we're not in a better position. It's still happening. The media is not talking about it as much anymore, but it's still happening. It's still a problem in our country, and we still have a lot of work to do in terms of trying to make things better for all of us here. All we can do is support our brothers and sisters and try our hardest to move forward in this world with love and empathy and try to make a change for the better. If you can do that just a little bit every day, we'll move that bar a little bit further every day. So, in memory and honor of Vicha Ratanapakdee, let's keep this going. This is not just one day out of the year, this is every day. This is your life.
On October 1st, 2022, San Francisco will officially rename Salora Lane, where Grandpa Vicha walked every day, to Vicha Ratanapakdee Way. Vicha Ratanapakdee was an 84-year-old Thai-American grandfather. On January 28, 2021, while on his usual morning walk in San Francisco, he was killed by being forcefully shoved to the ground. His shocking death was captured on a video surveillance camera. It was the first widely visible attack and was a flashpoint highlighting the dramatic rise in violent attacks on the Asian American Pacific Islander community. This is an historic moment for the entire AAPI community, where we gather together and commemorate the man by the naming of Vicha Ratanapakdee Way in San Francisco. Let this be the beginning of acknowledging the struggle the community is going through, and a chance to activate Asian Americans around the country. Please join us to honor Vicha Ratanapakdee.
Living here in Singapore, I was shocked on January 28, 2021, to read the news about 84-year-old Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee, who had been killed by being forcefully pushed to the ground in an act of violence against Asian Americans. Now, on October 1st, 2022, a street in San Francisco will be renamed in honor of Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee, to celebrate his life, but also hopefully to raise awareness that these acts of violence against Asian Americans, not just in the US, but around the world, haven't stopped yet. And we have to continue this fight and unite and stand together as one in order to stop these senseless, violent crimes against Asian Americans. So once again, let's first celebrate the life of Vicha, but also bring more awareness to these crimes against the AAPI community. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Amanda Pungbudibakia. I am a multidisciplinary artist based in Brooklyn and the daughter of Thai and Indonesian immigrants. Today, I just want to take a moment to talk to you about Vicha Ratanapakdee. He was an elder in our community, a beloved grandfather and father that we lost last year. But today, we honor his life and his legacy by reclaiming Sonora Lane in San Francisco and renaming it Vicha Ratanapakdee Lane, or Way, I'm sorry. I'm reminded of a Thai proverb that my dad used to say to me, which is, "Den cha, kanai mai pen rai, drap dai ti mai yut den." It doesn't matter how slowly we go, as long as we don't stop. I want to thank Kun Monthanus for bringing us all together to celebrate Vicha's life and his legacy, and for galvanizing us to do more for our communities. And I want to remind us all that it's everyone's responsibility to care for our communities.
On January 28th, 2021, Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee was pushed down and forced to the ground, and he was killed. I cannot tell you the amount of sadness that I've had just hearing all the stories, but I ask you to please support the AAPI community and give awareness and motivate the Asian American community to celebrate the life. On October 1st, 2022, San Francisco is going to be renaming the street of Sonora to Vicha Ratanapakdee Way. I think it's absolutely incredible that they're doing this, so please, I'm here to raise awareness, to let you know that I support the AAPI community, and to please celebrate the life of an elder. Thank you.
Hi, Nydia Han, television journalist in Philadelphia. When I saw the video of Vicha Ratanapakdee being brutally attacked, I immediately felt sick to my stomach and thought of my own father. We cannot let Vicha's death and the enduring grief of his family be for naught. We have got to come together as Americans, as a community, to fight and stand against anti-Asian hate and hate against all groups, because this is America. And so I am grateful for the renaming of Vicha Ratanapakdee Way. I hope that it does serve as a lasting reminder of who we are, who we want to be, and the fact that we belong.
Hi, everyone. Today, October 1st, up in San Francisco, they are going to be doing an official renaming ceremony of a street in honor of Vicha Ratanapakdee. Most of us remember who he is. He is the 84-year-old Thai-American man who was brutally killed on the street when he was taking his morning walk, shoved to the ground by a perfect stranger. And this really symbolized the violence of anti-Asian hate that was exploding across the country and continues to this day. I say it's wonderful that the city of San Francisco is commemorating the life of Vicha in the way that they are. He was an immigrant, came to this country to seek a better life for himself and his family, just like so many immigrant stories. But for his life to end in this violent way, so senselessly, it struck a chord with all of us. It broke all of our hearts. I want to remind everyone that this is still continuing. And even though it's wonderful that Vicha Grandpa is being memorialized in this way, we have to remember that this continues. Just recently, a 68-year-old man was robbed at his jewelry store and beaten to the point where he has to go through rehabilitation. And I just heard of another attack of a grandmother, a 70-year-old elderly woman in Daly City, who was strangled and robbed of everything in her house. She survived, but she's traumatized and she's lost everything. So we need to keep fighting the good fight. We need to keep reminding the public, the officials, decision makers, lawmakers, that this is still happening, that anti-Asian hate is real, and we need to put a stop to it.
Everyone needs to be in San Francisco this Saturday at 1 p.m. for the street renaming to honor Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee's life, which was taken in January 2021. I remember for a year prior, we were doing marches and rallies around the country to stand up and bring awareness to the anti-Asian hate and violence our community faces, pleading for help and resources to prevent what would happen to Grandpa Vicha. And it's unfortunate that it took his horrific death for our country to even be aware of the suffering of our community. But I'm so damn proud of our community around the country that came together to put pressure on Mayor London Breed, to put pressure on the then DA Chesabuddin, to even acknowledge this horrific crime. And I'm so proud of Monthanus Ratanapakdee, the daughter of Grandpa Vicha, who took this tragedy and took this platform to bring awareness, to bring further awareness of the still rising anti-Asian hate and violence, mostly targeting the elderly and the women of our community. So let's come together again. Let's come together again. Saturday, 1 p.m., October 1st, San Francisco. Details are in the caption or in the flyer. I'll see you there.
I think his memory should be about equal right for everyone. And I believe my father would want all of us to live in love without hate. I still think about him every day, yes.
I feel like a lot of people may not know what kind of a person he was. I mean, I think people see the video, which is just horrible, right? But he had a whole life before this moment. And so take us back to when you were a kid and what kind of dad was he like?
Grandpa he's from the village, and then he's the only one in the village who can speak English very well. He admires American culture. He never yelled. He's polite and family man. My father teaching me like respect and kindness and forgiveness and honestly. And then high education, supporting yourself. You don't need help from anybody. When he graduated, he used to be a teacher for the math subject.
In Thailand?
In Thailand.
Okay.
It's about like 2 years something. And then the bank, at the Thai Farmer Bank for 35 years until retirement.
Yeah. So when did he come to the States? What year was that?
2001 to visit me. Yeah.
Oh, okay, to visit you because you were going to Berkeley at
Yes,
the time.
yeah.
Okay.
My favorite things when I was a flight attendant and my father, after his retirement, and he traveling with me around the world, and he enjoyed to see my flight crew attendant. He get along with my teams. He always smiling, gentleman, and he loved exercise. Yeah. Grandpa is easygoing. He can go anywhere. That's Grandpa. I'm very proud of that. My father's story inspired a new generation of the Asian American activism, and I want everyone to stand united against hate. Yeah.
2, 3. Testing 1, 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 2, 3.
Check, check.
It sounds overmodulated.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. So this is the main mic. This is the main mic. Okay, so this is the main mic. This one. Testing 1, 2, 3. So this is the second mic. This is the second mic.
Okay. Sounds a bit overmodulated. Can we put the mic up there with a stand? Is it? I can just turn it on. Off, right? Well, it's overmodulated. It's not going in correctly. But is it possible to put our mic up on the podium with a stand? Yeah. Okay. It's okay to turn it off, right?
Yeah, you can turn it up, but I kind of want.
You want me to leave it on?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
That was Colors of the Wind by the A.P. Giannini Middle School Orchestra. Let's give them another big round of applause, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Max Leung. I will be your MC
for today. A little over a year and a half ago, a friend reached out to me because I started patrolling the streets of Chinatown in March of 2020 and advocating for the community. And when I received this phone call, it crushed me and it broke my heart, because it was yet another story of another attack, of another family being broken, and my heart sunk. And for this past year and a half, I've become friends and extended family of the Ratanapakdee family. And it's truly my honor and my pleasure to be MC today. And I stand up here today with mixed emotions. It's like, yes, it is a small victory, but why are we here? Like, I have so many questions. We know who killed Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee. But for me, the question remains, what killed Vicha Ratanapakdee? Was it Asian hate? Was it mental illness? Was it elder abuse? Was it a combination of the above? Was it a symptom of the broken system we have that doesn't provide adequate resources for those in need? And what are the possible solutions? So I ask you all here today to think about these questions as well and what the possible solutions are, because I don't have the answers. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for the support, because without community, this would not be possible. And we need to come together as community to support one another, not just when issues affect us or people we know, but community is about building, and it takes work. It takes effort. We need to reach out, and we need to care about one another. We need to create a culture that has empathy and compassion for one another, which is sorely lacking in this modern day and age. And I thank you all. I thank all the volunteers that made this happen. I thank the community for truly showing up for the family. And now I'd like to introduce my good friend, the daughter of Vicha Ratanapakdee, Monthanus Ratanapakdee.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Monthanus Ratanapakdee, and I am a daughter of my father, Mr. Vicha Ratanapakdee. I am so grateful to each of you for being here today to supporting my family and the AAPI community. On January last year, 28 last year, my father left for his morning walk and he never came back home again. I saw a video of his murder that I will never forget. My father was pushed and killed on the street near my home on a walk he took every day. We are so honored today to rename this street Vicha Ratanapakdee Way in memory of my father. It is important to me and my family that my father did not to be in vain. We dedicate this street to not only the family of my father, but also to the many victims of the anti-Asian hate. My father admired this country, and he is the one who encouraged me to come to the United States to study. And he admired American value of the equality and equal justice. Since my father passed, he has become a national symbol for the Stop Asian Hate movement. And my father, which our memory, stand for the civil rights and the equality for all of the people. I want to share the story why we have the renamed street, Vicha Ratanapakdee Way today. My mother, 70 years old, she lived with us. And then she enjoyed to walk on the street at the step 66 step every day, with my son. And then after my father passed away, he never wanted to walk out again. My son shared with me, my mother daily fear. He said, Grandma never want to come out and walk again after Grandpa was killed. Hearing this word from my son filled me with a deep sadness. Safety is a basic right, and no one deserves to live in fear, even the elder Asian people. I have 2 boys, like other family. Our fundamental wish is that our kids grow up and thrive in this city that we love. They must be allowed to live in peace and safety, no matter who they are, no matter what they work. We must all work together to stop Asian hate. Father, we miss you every day, and I know you love me and your grandson. I feel your spirit seeing us from heaven. Your death will not be in vain, and even in passing your life, we inspire others with your love and your value. Love is our guiding light. Love light the path to win over hate, but it will take courage too. The courage to say and do what we believe in right and needs. I'm so sorry. It needs both love and courage to keep us strong in our fight for equality and freedom from violence. Today, I see the young generation, and I'm so proud to see young people to standing with us, and I see young courage, and I see how you speak up for Asian American equality, and you are the reason I have hope. And I would like to thank you to Terry Lee. Is Terry Lee here today? Thank you so much, Terry Lee. Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry.
For all she's done in renaming the street. She has put a lot of effort representing our group, Justice for Vicha. So I think we should give her a big hand right now and thank her for all she's done.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would like to thank you, him and Dr. Sanino Savidikason, who are supporting me with their heartfelt letter to propose this street renaming for me. And on all behalf of my family, I would like to thank you, Judy Young, Executive Director of the Southeast Asian Development Center. Where's Judy Young? There, she's here. And we would like to thank you, District 2 Supervisor Kathleen Stephanie. Where is she? Thank you so much. She introduced a resolution that renamed Sonola Lane to the Vicha Ratanapakdee Way. And then this renaming gonna be symbolize our city solidarity with our Asian American and the Pacific Islander community. It is our hope that the new street name will remind future generation that violence against our AAPI community, especially the elderly has no place in our society. And to stop anti-Asian violence and racism. And thank you so much for everyone to being here, to our community and all people who have cared so much about the Stop Asian Hate. Thank you.
Our next speaker is a renowned actor, producer, and activist. He cares deeply about fighting the rise in anti-Asian hate, as shown by his call to action to Congress in March of 2021, when he urged the passage of the No Hate Bill and the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. Please join me in welcoming Daniel Dae Kim, everybody.
Hi, everyone, and good afternoon. What an important day for us to be here in San Francisco. And by the way, not in Chinatown, not in any ethnic enclave or some tucked away corner, but we are right here in the heart of the city to dedicate and name this street Vicha Ratanapakdee Way. Like so many of us, I will never forget January 8th, 2021. I was sitting in an apartment in freezing cold Canada when a video showed up on my social media feed of a brutal attack on an Asian man in broad daylight. Now, those of us following the news in the Asian American community already knew that by then, almost a year into the COVID pandemic, we had suffered from a staggering increase in the number of attacks and incidents of hate. Stories were appearing one after another like a steady drumbeat that just kept getting louder and louder. In fact, according to the FBI's annual hate crime statistics report, in 2021, crimes against the AA and NHPI community rose 73% from the already sharply elevated levels of 2020. And preliminary numbers already tell us that 2022 will be no different. But the attack on Mr. Ratanapakdee was different. Maybe it was because of the brazen callousness of the act itself. Maybe because of its sheer animalistic violence. But to me, it was because it happened to one of our most vulnerable, our elderly. Mr. Ratanapakdee was a grandfather. Mr. Ratanapakdee was a husband. He was a father. And simply, he was one of us. In him, I saw my own family. In him, I saw my own parents, who just like Vicha love to take walks in the middle of the day in the country they love and call home. In short, I saw in him all of us. And I know I'm not alone. News of Vicha spread, and like a lit match in a dry forest, it sparked a fire. It sparked a wildfire. And in fact, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say it helped spark a movement. Most of us already know that throughout our country's history, there's been no shortage of events that have adversely affected our community. We also know that many of those events have been wholly absent from our textbooks and our classrooms. But thanks to his family, and to the many activists and allies here today, Vicha Ratanapakdee's death will not be one of those events. It will not be forgotten, and it will not be erased. Yes, thank you. The movement that sprang from this tragedy, along with too many others, has brought us together in an unprecedented way. New, powerful organizations have emerged, legislation on a national scale was enacted, and maybe most importantly, so many of us found our voice. Voices that in some cases we didn't know we had. Voices that many of us had never used. In the days and weeks after the event, I was brought to tears over and over when I would hear Monthanus speak of her father. The elegance, the grace, the strength it took to face reporters, to face journalists, to face cameras, to face total strangers, all to tell his story. And she did it all in a language that was not native to her. Monthanus, your courage, your strength, in the midst of what must have been incredible pain, was nothing short of an inspiration to us all, and we thank you. In Monthanus, we heard our voice, the powerful voice of a community made up of dozens of ethnicities, speaking over 100 languages, coming together as one. This is the voice of Asian America, and this is our voice. Today's dedication is a direct result and a manifestation of that voice. A way for us to say, we are not invisible. When a recent study by TAF and Launch showed that fully 1/3 of Americans are unaware that attacks against our community are increasing, and almost 1/2 are unaware that Asian Americans have suffered discrimination at all, this street serves as a powerful reminder that we will not be dismissed. We will not be overlooked. We will not be forgotten. And we will not stand idly by while our most vulnerable are attacked. Through Vicha and Vicha Ratanapakdee Way, we make the statement that we are literally part of the very infrastructure of our country. And we will, as we always have, continue to be an essential part of what makes it the special place that it is. So, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to the city of San Francisco. Thank you to everyone, especially all of you out here who have done so much to help our community. And not just the Asian American community, for all communities of color, because the message here is that this is not an Asian American issue, this is an American issue, and together we are stronger. Finally, I would like to most of all thank Vicha Ratanapakdee and his family. You may never have intended to become a symbol for a movement, but you are. And for that, we are all so grateful. Now every single person who walks, or rides, or drives down this street, or takes walks just like Vicha did, will say the name Vicha Ratanapakdee, and with every utterance, we will remember. We will remember his life, his contribution, and our community's strength. For all of those beautiful things, we say thank you to Grandpa Vicha. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DDK. Our next speaker is a community creator, a San Francisco Rec and Park Commissioner, a friend of the family, and a resident of this neighborhood for over 50 years. Vanita Louie, everybody.
Thank you, Max. So we want to thank the good doctor producer and the Hellboy, Daniel Day Kim. So prior to this attack in January 2021, few knew or heard of this Anza Vista neighborhood. And today's commemoration of the street or the stairways in and out of this Anza Vista neighborhood is significant. It's not easy to name anything here or rename anything here in San Francisco because it has to be for all the right reasons. And the commemoration and renaming of Sonora Way happening now is for all the right reasons. My name is Vanita, and I represent the residents of this Anza Vista neighborhood. The heinous attack of Grandpa Vicha didn't happen that long ago, and no family should have to live with this. You know, we all continue to look over our shoulders to see if it's safe, if the coast is clear before we make a move. We all don't sit in the car too long. This has become a normal way of life. So these 4 blocks, this residential neighborhood called Anza Vista, where a lot of us are standing, we call this home. Vicha and his family call Anza Vista their home. I call Anza Vista, my family calls Anza Vista our home. So his face, as Daniel said, has become a symbol of how things are and a marking point of where we need to go. We must continue to amplify our voices because justice is what Vicha deserves. A big thank you to the organizers, to Charles, to Natasha, to Daniel and the other speakers for amplifying your voice. But the biggest thanks goes to Monthanus and her family. So today is significant. Our District 2 supervisor, Catherine Stephanie, has been the unyielding, most supportive, best supervisor in San Francisco. Everybody, give her a round of applause. You know, the vote went before the Board of Supervisors, and the renaming of Sonora Way in honor of Grandpa Vicha was on that day unanimous because of Catherine Stephanie. So it's comforting to know that when we walk out of our homes, as Daniel said, walk our dogs, drive around this neighborhood, most people get lost in this neighborhood. They come in here and they don't know the way out. But we will forever remember Grandpa Vicha and Monthanus and Eric, the boys, and his beautiful family. And I think today we all want the same thing, which is justice for Vicha. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. The Anza Vista residents want to give Monthanus and Eric's boys a special gift. I mean, they can't come out to look at the sign when it's cold and dark, so they can hang this inside their room. So this is from all of us that live in this neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanita. Our next speaker is another good friend of mine. I met him a couple of years ago. He's one of the co-founders of the They Can't Burn Us All movement. He is an actor and an activist, and he flew all the way out here from New York to join us today. Give it for Will Lexham, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming here today, and thank you all for joining on the live stream for the street renaming to honor the life of Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee. I remember the rhetoric in the beginning of the pandemic that turned our country against anyone that had Asian physical features. I remember us doing marches and rallies around the country, pleading to have the exponentially increased anti-Asian hate and violence to be seen, to be addressed. And I remember my first introduction to Grandpa Vicha, that home security video of that horrific, vicious murder that sent shockwaves throughout the entire country. And after an entire year of being ignored and gaslit about our suffering, which is the typical Asian American experience, it made sense for so many of us to feel that incredible rage and anger. And we use that energy to refuse to be invisible. Yes. And while I'm very proud that our vastly diverse Asian American community came together in a way that I had never witnessed in my lifetime, I am so encouraged by Monthanus Ratanapakdee, who was the most devastated by this heinous crime. Monthanus and her family grieved and then immediately turned their tragedy into mission to give voice to so many voiceless in our community, to continue to shine a light on the violence that afflicts the most vulnerable in even greater numbers today. The resolve of Monthanus is a great example of the impact of one person in a city where Asians are the near majority and receive a fraction of the city's funding and resources. Imagine the power we can take back for our community when we're all activated. So thank you, Monthanus, for being that shining example. And while this street renaming is incredibly special, 2 years later, we're still fighting for justice for Vicha. It's a reminder that the road to justice is a long one, and the best that we can do is put one foot in front of the other, take it step by step. And through the pain and the seeming helplessness, let's remember the strength and power and love through unity in our community. So I would love to just end this with a couple of chants. And really, a call and response, but when you chant, please, just from the depths of your being, we're all here together today. This is community. All right? So, show me what community looks like, and you guys show this is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. Show them what community looks like. And let's not let the life of Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee go in vain. And always remember his name. So say it 3 times. Say his name. Say his name. Vicha Ratanapakdee. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Thank you. Let's never forget.
Right on, Will. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Mina Fedor. She is the founder of AAPI Youth Rising, a group of middle school and high school students taking small actions to make positive change within our AAPI communities. AAPI Youth Rising believes education is the key to fighting racism. And while the group supports AAPI history mandates, AAPI Youth Rising volunteers to teach the untold histories of Asians in America to classrooms across the country. Just a couple of weeks ago, AAPI Youth Rising and Mina were recognized as uniters by President Biden. Mina is joined by the AAPI Youth Rising Youth Board, Siu Ri, Charlie Trenko, Jasleen Lai, Ashiana Gupta, Maxwell Wong, Cooper Hong, and Ethan Su. Mina, everybody.
Hello everyone, my name is Mina Fedor. Today I am here to honor the legacy of Grandpa Vicha. At 12, I heard Grandpa Vicha's name for the first time in 2021. I saw someone who could have been my grandpa, my Habiji, or really any AAPI community member. At 13, my friends and I came together and we honored Grandpa Vicha alongside many lives lost in the face of hate. Now I am 14, and today I honor Grandpa Vicha again and his legacy of hope. His daughter and grandchildren ask you to do the same. We hope for the safety of our elders. We hope for the safety of our schools. We hope that our diverse histories and cultures will be celebrated and represented in classrooms across America, and that this story will never be forgotten. Grandpa Vicha's name inspires us to all work for a better future. We may be young, but we are watching, we are listening, and we are acting. Today, we choose hope. Please join us in doing the same.
Today, we will share a poem written by local poet Jane Park. Her poem, Rising Motion, was dedicated to AAPI Youth Rising. Today, we dedicate it to every kid who is listening. Some say we are too quiet, but when we speak, joyfully in mother tongues, now we are too loud.
You are not too quiet or too loud, too short or too tall.
You are not too obedient or too stubborn, too aggressive or too timid. Your eyes are not too small or too big. Your skin is not too dark or too light.
You are exactly who you are supposed to be. If some choose not to see you, do you exist?
You are unlike anyone the world has ever known. You are strong in only ways that you can be. You are powerful.
And your truth can move the immovable. And together, you are an unstoppable force.
Objects in motion. You are a crashing wave. You are the first beam of sunlight in the morning. Thank you in joining in this message of hope.
Thank you, AAPI Youth Rising. Our next speaker is the first Asian American to serve as president of San Francisco Board of Supervisors, the first Asian to represent Eastern San Francisco in the California State Assembly, and the first Asian to serve today as San Francisco City Attorney. A former civil rights attorney, criminal prosecutor, and a longtime community advocate, David Chu has dedicated his life to the fight for justice. As the former chair of the California API Legislative Caucus, he helped deliver last year a record state budget investment of $156 million to combat anti-Asian hate. David Chu, everybody.
First of all, can we give it up for those young people who just spoke on this stage? They are our future. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, good afternoon. Thank you for communing today. Let me first start by saying on behalf of the City and County of San Francisco, our hearts go out to Monthanus, to your family, to our Thai community. We can only imagine how exhausting and how difficult this has been, this moment, being here on the street, being here in this neighborhood. Like all of you, I am sick and tired of the violence. How many of you are sick and tired of the violence? We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And we come together because we need to find meaning in what has happened. We need to know that what happened to Grandpa Vicha did not happen in vain. As I've been reflecting on the meaning of today, there are several things I've thought about. First of all, the meaning of today is first and foremost about this family. all of us here together. Many of us didn't know each other before January the 28th, 2021. Grandpa Vicha brought us together. I've often reflected on the fact that my father is 84 years old. That is the age when Grandpa Vicha was taken from us. And as Daniel Day Kim said, he was our grandpa. And every victim of anti-Asian violence is our grandmother, is our sister, is our son. They are us, and we are them. Now, let me also say that there has been one incredible silver lining in this entire experience of the last 2.5 years, and that is we have seen an incredible movement of new activists, new advocates, new organizations. Grandpa Vicha has ignited this generation who has said that we are sick and tired, and who has said that if you come after any of us, you're going to have to come through all of us. And I want to say thank you to Justice for Vicha, for Asians Are Strong, for APAs versus Hate, for Chinatown Volunteer Coalition, Stand with Asians, and Stand with Asian Americans. Can we give it up for all of those organizations? And I will tell you that the city and county of San Francisco, I've had so many conversations with Mayor Breed, with our police chief. I want to take a moment and thank our district attorney who is here with us today. We are going to work together with community until the hate ends. One last perspective on the meaning of today. We are here because we have to change what happened in the past when it comes to what's going to happen in the future. Because clearly America forgot that 140 years ago, anti-Asian hate led to the Chinese Exclusion Act. 80 years ago, anti-Asian hate led to Japanese-American internments. 40 years ago, anti-Asian hate led to the murder of Vincent Chin. Well, let me tell you today what my hope is for the future. I have a 6-year-old son who I usually bring to most community events. I did not bring him today because I can't explain to him. I can't share with him the ugliness of what happened to our grandpa. But my prayer and my hope is that when my son becomes an adult and he has children, he will bring them here to this corner and look up at this sign and say, you know what? Years ago, my papa told me a story about a man named Grandpa Vicha, who was kind and loving and took care of his grandkids and died. But he did not die in vain. He ignited a movement. He brought us together. Grandpa Vicha became our rallying cry, and this movement ended anti-Asian hate. And I will just say one last thing, which is the clouds are over us, but the sun is trying to peek out. And I don't know about you, but for those of you who believe in the next life, whether you're Buddhist or Christian, Catholic or Jewish or Hindu, I feel Monthanus, I feel him with us today. His soul, his spirit lives with us today. And I want to say to him, on this new Vicha Ratanapakdee way, that until we see you again in the next life, we're going to fight for you because you are with us and you will always be with us. Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Our next speaker is Judy Young. She's the executive director of the Southeast Asian Development Center located in Tenderloin. She's been at this position for over 40 years, and she was instrumental in playing a role in making this street sign happen. So please give it up for Judy Young, everybody.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judy Young. I'm the Executive Director of the Southeast Asian Development Center. I am a proud Lao, Thai, Chinese American. Today is a special day for the Southeast Asian American community. Over 20,000 Southeast Asian Americans live in San Francisco. Southeast Asian communities, including Cambodians, Laotians, Thai, Burmese, and Vietnamese, have long been overlooked. A year ago, our organization, the Southeast Asian Development Center, partnered with Supervisor Stefani and the Ratanapakdee family to introduce the street renaming resolution. Today, I am honored to stand with Supervisor Stefani to recognize that the Thai and broader Southeast Asian community are part of the national conversation to stop AAPI hate. I want to say we are here today because of your leadership and support, Supervisor Stefani. Thank you. The renaming of Sonora Lane to Vicha Ratanapakdee Way is the first in San Francisco history and the first in the United States. A street is renamed in honor of a Thai American. This is the first. I'm especially proud of this legacy for our Southeast Asian American community. Today, we are no longer overlooked. Since the onset of COVID-19 pandemic, physical and verbal attacks on Asian American Pacific Islanders rose throughout San Francisco Bay Area and across the nation. Grandpa Vicha's death was the tipping point for many Asian Americans in San Francisco to say, enough is enough, and the hate and attacks must stop. Grandpa Vicha has become the face of the Stop AAPI hate movement. I want to thank the organizations today, the individuals, the volunteers for putting this event together. We're united to stop AAPI hate. Thank you all for being here to commemorate and memorialize Grandpa Vicha for all San Franciscans. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Our next speaker comes all the way from the consulate in LA. Help me in welcoming Tor Saralamba, the Thai Consul General.
Ladies and gentlemen, all friends of Grandpa, Uncle Vicha, I'm very honored to be a part of this meaningful event where we are gathering to witness a street naming ceremony of Kun Vicha Ratanapakdee. The event today is a significant symbol to commemorate Kun Vicha's date of senseless violence happened to him in 2021, which has a profound impact on the American society as a whole. So Uncle Vicha, or Grandpa Vicha, a senior citizen from Thailand, traveled to San Francisco to be with his daughter and grandchildren. He was fatally assaulted by a person he never known before while he took a morning walk in this very peaceful neighborhood. It's the same activities that you and me have done every morning. And I believe many of you and I did that activities this morning. We went out, enjoyed the morning breeze, morning walk, run, but we are lucky enough to survive until this time, the middle of the day. But Lung Vicha did not lucky enough to survive. He was a victim of an unprovoked attack. So I'll think that all of you will agree with me that any kind of crime, regardless of who the victim is, are completely wrong and unacceptable. And if such crime are motivated only by any kind of differences, racial differences, religion differences, political opinion, or sexual identity, they are all, against the fundamental American values of liberty and freedom. And this American value is enshrined in the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, California is a home to the largest Thai communities outside of Thailand. Our people, the Thai, always appreciate the beauty of the American racial, ethnic, and cultural diversities. We have long contributed significantly to American society and economy for many generations. We live in peace, solidarity, and harmony with all Americans. The gathering today has shown solidarity and strength of all Americans to stand up against any kind of violence crime, which has been recurrent. I believe that the street renaming today will be a meaningful way to symbolize our solidarity and our awareness against any kind of violence crime, and voice out our common statement that any act of violence is not acceptable here. I wish to express my appreciation to San Francisco Authority for taking a serious action in raising awareness and advocating against violence crime among the local communities. And lastly, my special thanks to all city agencies and community organizations for organizing this event. I hope that with unity and collaboration at all levels, we will be able to create a peaceful and caring society for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tor. Our next speaker is Supervisor Catherine Stephanie, the supervisor for District 2, which is this district. She led the legislative effort for this street renaming. So please give a big round of applause to Supervisor Stephanie.
Thank you, Max, and good afternoon, everybody. As Max said, I'm Catherine Stephanie, the supervisor of District 2, where you're standing right now, and unfortunately, where the horrible death of Vicha Ratanapakdee occurred. When we saw that video, we know we were devastated. It seared into our hearts and our brains, but then when we met the people behind it, Monthanus, the daughter, and the grandchildren, and heard the story, it became even more devastating, and it united all of us together. We are here to commemorate the memory of Vicha and to honor the victims of all anti-Asian hate and violence. And for this to happen today, a lot of people participated, and I want to take time to thank Monthanus and Charles Jung, Jonathan Sitt, Mark Young, Forrest Liu, Natasha Kwan, Justin Shu, and our MC, Max Leung. So thank you so much for all of you. We've heard about what happened, different accounts, and we saw it. It united us here today, and we've come together, not just to fight back, but we've come together to lead with love and not fear, to stop anti-Asian hate. What Monthanus has done, what I have seen her do since January of 2021, unite all of us through her pain and her advocacy, through every action she's taken for the mural, for this renaming, at every event you've been to. You have united us all, and you have given all of us strength to fight. You have shown bravery in the face of tragedy. You are a model and an inspiration to all of us. Her work to memorialize her father through this street renaming is a testament to her work to amplify the voices of the AAPI community and stand against hatred. And I'm honored that you entrusted me to work with you on this. This stairwell will serve as a tangible reminder for all that hate has absolutely no place in San Francisco. And what I want to say to Monthanus is that it is also a symbol of love. I know how much you love your father. And when you look at this sign, I want you to know that it's a symbol of the love your father has for you. And I say has because it's not past tense. The love you have for him and the love collectively that we all have for you. And how we will all continue to work together to stop AAPI hate. I've gotten a chance to know Monthanus over this last almost 2 years. And I remember the first time I met her, I didn't know what to say. I was nervous. You know, as a politician, some people don't really like to hear us talk a lot. And I did not have the words to adequately express how sorry I was. So instead of words, we take actions, because words are meaningless unless we put actions behind them. And I was so happy to be able to lead on this. And again, I thank you for entrusting us to do it. You can count on us to take actions against hate, not just speak words. You can count on us to support victims of AAPI hate. And you can count on us to continue to fight against AAPI violence and to make sure that we are holding those accountable who commit such acts. You can also count on us to make San Francisco a fairer place for all. Thank you again. I want you to know always that you can count on me as your friend. We have so much in common as mothers and daughters who have special relationships with their fathers. You can count on me as your ally and someone who truly believes that in all my heart, we can cultivate a safe and secure community for future generations. Thank you again for your strength and everything you've done for San Francisco and the AAPI community. And thank you to all who made this day possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Our next speaker that I'm proud to announce is truly a hero of mine and somebody that I have a lot of respect and admiration for, and someone whom I truly look up to that I've been following for quite some time now. She was the 2022 Time Magazine Woman of the Year, 2019 Nobel Peace Prize nominee, and her video for Grandpa Vicha went viral and sparked a national movement. Amanda Nguyen, everybody.
It's really hard for me today. I'm quite conflicted, and I just want to speak from the heart because I still feel that pain. I still feel it. I know we all feel it, but also I feel incredible hope today. I'm so grateful that we're gathered here. It is a demonstration of the human story, and I think that story is one of hope. Thank you, Monthanus, for bringing us together. You are the reason why I have hope. And I know that in the face of all the violence that the Asian American community has endured, it might sound foolish, but I think we need a little hope. I have it today because I think we are finally being seen. We are being heard, and for so long, the struggles of the AAPI community has been swept under the rug, dismissed as unimportant. For so long, we have watched our elders, our brothers, our sisters, our children, our friends be subject to hate and to violence. And for so long, these experiences have gone hidden, gaslit, unreported. But today, we are being seen. What I see here is the quilt of this country, the lives, the experiences woven together by the thread of Grandpa Vicha's legacy. This street will bear the name of Grandpa Vicha, an Asian name, a Thai name, an American name, alongside streets like O'Farrell, McAllister, Vega, Lincoln, and King. It etches into maps and paths our existence and our belonging. And it tells our children the stories of our experiences. It weaves us into the fabric of this city and this country. And it proves yet again what we have always known, that we are Americans, that we belong, and that we won't be pushed out, silenced, or forgotten. When I see Grandpa Vicha, I see my dad, I see my grandpa, I see sacrifice, love, patience, and kindness. He is us. He is an extension of all of us united. Peace is not the absence of visible conflict. In order for there to be true peace, people must have access to justice. Vicha is that rallying call. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice. These are the first words inked into the preamble of our Constitution. The definition of a more perfect union has changed through the centuries. It is up to each generation to define. What is a nation other than a group of people coming together and agreeing upon shared values? America is known as the land of the free, but for whom is it free for? There's a long tradition of people channeling our painful living truths into justice. And today, you remind us that in our democracy, we have the ability to rewrite our stories. That penning our own civil rights into existence, fighting for freedom, this is how we live up to the promise of this country. This is how we live up to the creed of those words. Today demands that we imagine a world where all are free. Free to walk down the street without fear. Free from racism, discrimination, free to be. The cold creeps forward when everyone calculates that it's wisest to stay silent another day. Until somewhere, in the nightmare, someone charges forth, lighting the way. You did that. Thank you. Thank you. Today we celebrate a legacy born from pain. And celebrating this legacy means recognizing how much it costs, understanding the power, the light we have to change the world. I feel like Grandpa Vicha is with us today, and he reminds us that that light is already within us. Monthanus, you are that light. Thank you for leading us. Thank you for being hope. You remind us that no one is powerless when we come together, and no one is invisible when we demand to be seen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda. So before we unveil the street sign, I'd like to bring Monthanus up here one more time for some words to everybody here.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone. This community I call home. So I want to see the future generation who want to stand next to me, who want to come up and stand in the front. Future generation, young children, want to come? I want to see our young generation. I saw a lot of kids. Yes. Yes, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is my hope and Grandpa Vicha. Yes, thank you to all the speakers to your beautiful speech today and remark today. And thank you to the leadership of the San Francisco today. I see the San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins. Thank you so much for being here to care for our community, yes. And then Ivy Lee from the mayor office, Mayor Breed, yes. And thank you to all the community, Thai community, and all Thai temples in the San Francisco and Bay Area. And thank you all the medias and friends and family, my family. And I am so touched to hear from the people of the all age young generation and from across the country united together here today to honor my father. Since last year, January 2021, my family has been a terrible, sadness. My mom, my kids, my sister in Thailand, by my father passed away. But today, seeing the community come together today, I have hope, Thank you to all my neighbors to supporting me. And thank you to the SFPD to taking care of our family and since day one. And whoever I didn't mention the name, I'm so sorry. And I hope the Grandpa Street renames will remind our young generation to must do something to against our AAPI community to, and remind people of my father and to lead with love, not fear. And thank you to the AP Jananini Middle School and Mr. Hyman, the teacher for the orchestra, to come and support Grandpa today. And the cellist, Jeffrey Lee and Angela Lee, she's gonna be performed later at the end. And also all the volunteers who are working hard to supporting this event. And now I would like to thank you to the organization, our organization. Can you show up in the floor because people want to know you. Charles Zhang, yeah, Natasha Huan, yeah, thank you so much. And Hassan Lau, Asian are strong. Where are you? Yes, can you stay in front? We want to know you. Yes, yeah. Natasha, Charles. Yeah, Jonathan's is Chinatown volunteer from the coalition. Mark Young, Stand with the Asian. Justin Su, Stand with Asian American. Mylon Lee, Be Chinatown, Stand with Asian. Yeah, for being working hard for us for our event. And then Max Lang, MC, our MC today. Thank you. And we also thank you to Jonathan Chang for the art illustration from my father, which are, that's the picture for the art station. And thank you for everyone for being here today. Thank you so much. And we hope our young generation to be strong and must do something for us, in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. So if I can have everybody draw their attention now to the street sign, we are now going to do the unveiling.
Can you ask them to be respectful of the space? Because people are going to try to... No, you guys.
The unveiling ceremony will be blessed by Buddhist monks because Grandpa Vicha was a Buddhist.
Sa bhagavato arahato sa ma sambuddhassa iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vecca charanas panno sukhato lo kavitu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sa teva manu sanang buddho vakhato bhagavata dhammo satitiko akaliko ปัสสิโกอุปันนยิโกปัจจตังเวทิตาปุเวียนโยเหตสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอุชุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตกสังโฆญายปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสามีจิปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆยติจัตตาริปุริสยุคานิอาตปุริสปุกลาเอสะภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุนายปาหุนายโยตาคินายโยจาลีกรณีโยอนุตตรังเขตังโลกัสสติชยันตัวปุติยามัวเลสักยานางนานติวตาโนเอวังตาวะวิจโยหัวหิใจเสจยามังคาลลังเกสีเสปัทวิปุกาเลอภิเสเกสาปพุทธานังอาคาปัตโตปะมัวทัติสนาขาตังสุมาลังสุปาภาตังสุหัวติตังสุกันสมาหัวตัวจะเสยทังพรามะริสุปทาคินังกายกรรมังจากรรมังปทาคินังปทาคินังมโนกรรมังปณิยเตปทาคินาปทาคินานิกัตตวานรพันตาเทปทาคิเน
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for everyone for being here. Very grateful to see the sign. And yeah, and yes, I have no words.
Thank you so much for coming, everybody, and for supporting the family and to join us in this watershed moment in not just Asian American history, but American history. Thank you.
Testing. Nope. Testing. Testing.
Can this go down? Can this go down?
So for those of you who don't know, there's also going to be a movie premiere today at 3 p.m. at the Roxy Theater in the Mission. And the movie is a PBS documentary featuring Monthanus and is called The Rise in Asian Hate. Rising Against Hate, I'm sorry. So 3 p.m. at the Roxy Theater, Rising Against Hate, the documentary. And leading us out of here is going to be Jeffrey Lee and Angela Lee playing In My Life.
Okay, okay, yeah. On behalf of Monthanus, here are some Justice for Vicha t-shirts. Thank you so much.